communication very recently through Facebook, right?
It was Friday. They were giving us the news that Dabia was getting really hit, Misrata. So few small states in Libya were getting hit pretty bad by the regime.
Now you're watching the coverage on television just as the rest of us are. What has it been like for you over the weekend, and what is your reaction to what is being reported?
Well, it's very hard. This one hits close to home. I've always been out there and activist working, to the tsunami, the Katrina, and doing everything I can for other people. But this one hit close to home. So, you have family, you have friends, and you just sit there and you watch the TV. You sit there and your whole life is taken by the TV, by the computer. You have a small team that sits at your house, and we're trying to figure out whose family is in danger, how can we get the word out, how can we basically help these people. It's not about politics, it's not about being a Libyan American. These are innocent lives that are being taken every minute, and if we don't do anything, then we let him win. We let another tyrant say, it's okay for me to kill my people, and the world will stand by and watch.
One of the biggest concerns being expressed on television by quote-unquote pundits, experts, etc., speaks to the question, okay, so we end the Gaddafi regime, he either leaves, we kill him, whatever it happens to be, and these rebels that we have supported and saved from the brink of annihilation take over and run Libya. Who knows who they are and whether or not they might be just as bad as Muammar Gaddafi. Please tell us what you know about these people who are trying to take Gaddafi out.
Okay, the revolutionists, they are basically normal people. The Benghazi, which is the liberated state now, they basically said, okay, what now? What happens now? After we have liberated Benghazi and liberated Libya, we do not want to be in a chaotic state when Gaddafi is taken away. So people like you and me, people that like older people who have been involved in the community, have been respected, their families are well known in Libya, have said, okay, let's take these people and make them the transitional government. They know what they're doing. They're very, very understanding. They're very amazing people that we personally have talked to, other governments have talked to. And what they're doing is they're just a transitional government. They have stated they do not want power once Gaddafi is down. They just want to make sure that their country is not in a chaotic state, that, the rules and policies are still in effect when Gaddafi when Gaddafi steps down. So basically, that's what they're doing. Their job is to make sure that no chaotic happens. And when the new government comes in the power, when the people vote them in, they will just transition everything they've done into that. And Benghazi, if you see on the reports, if you see on the news, they have been very organized. They have been very united by this government. So this government is not rebels, as the media calls them. They're revolutionists that just want their country to not be chaotic when everybody steps down.
We're talking with Libyan American from Orlando, Wafia Saif al-Nasser, and I want to continue in 1 minute after we update traffic and weather. So please stay with me, Wafia, until the top of the hour. And folks, don't miss a word of this interview. I want to ask about the Al-Qaeda presence in Libya, because really, Gaddafi's been saying Al-Qaeda they're the ones who stirred up all of this opposition. I want to ask about the Muslim Brotherhood, which to me is a very concerning presence in all of the Muslim countries, as well as ours, frankly. And then I want what you can tell us about reports that an Orlando man has been kidnapped by Gaddafi forces in Libya. It is all coming up as I continue talking with Libyan American from Orlando, Wafia Saif al-Nasser. 6:52 real-time traffic and weather together now here on the Twos. And we're looking on this first full day of spring for fabulous spring-like weather. Sunny and 83 in Orlando. We're at 62 degrees here in Orlando. Back with Libyan American here in Orlando, Wafia Saif El Nasser, who's been kind enough to come on the radio with the Bud Man this morning. You know, Gaddafi is saying that Al-Qaeda has stirred all of this up. I'm worried about the Al-Qaeda presence there. If you say these rebels are all about getting rid of Gaddafi and giving the nation an opportunity for freedom and democracy, but they are not the ones who actually want power, do we run the risk in a power vacuum post-Gaddafi of Al-Qaeda taking over? And I want you to address that, and I want you to tell us about the Muslim Brotherhood and whether they are a part of the rebel resistance. Please go ahead, Wafia, on both.
Sure. I think it's ridiculous. Everything we've heard from this man is a lie. I don't think one sentence that he said so far, and the world is watching now, and every time, and I'm online a lot, okay, but and I see what he says, and you look at the news that's coming out of Benghazi, you look at the actual reporters from CNN, and you're like, are you serious? These are just normal people. Look at their hands. They have nothing when they're shot down. So, you know, from my experience, just like growing up in the United States, I watch TV and I see what Al-Qaeda is all about, and I see that they have weapons, they have all the ability to take out a lot of things. And I'm like, if Al-Qaeda was in Libya, wouldn't you think that they would have taken Gaddafi down a long time ago?
So you do not believe Gaddafi, you do not believe Al-Qaeda is a presence there, and you do not believe that they would take over if there were a post-Gaddafi power vacuum?
No.
All right, fair enough. Now let me ask you about the Muslim Brotherhood. How should we regard the Muslim Brotherhood? Should we feel threatened by it?
No, because okay.
Is the Muslim Brotherhood good news or bad news for America?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not like.
Well, what do you know about them?
Well, I know their presence is not in Libya.
There's no Muslim Brotherhood presence in Libya? I believe, from everything I've read, and you certainly know your country better than I do, that the Muslim Brotherhood is not only a presence in every nation in the Middle East, some think it really has designs on power in Egypt, but also a presence here in the United States. Okay.
Well, what I know is the people in Libya, the revolutionists, they're just normal people like you and I. I'm not an expert in the Muslim Brotherhood. I just, like you, I just read what you read. And I know in Libya that the people that are doing this, they're not Muslim Brotherhood. There are just Libyans that want their freedom, that want their democracy, and they asked peacefully for the tyrant to step down, that 42 years was too much for him, and for him to step down. And for me to comment about the Muslim Brotherhood and just think, like, you know, kind of tell the people that I know what every single detail about them is, no, I actually do not know. But I do know that the people in Libya, they're actual normal human beings like you and I would go out and protest and say, oh, you know, we don't like this tyranny anymore. It's 42 is enough, and then we get shot down either by planes or by human beings.
Well, I know how excited you were when we talked over the weekend that the world has finally come to the aid of the rebels. Can you put into words how you felt when you heard that the planes would be coming?
Oh, my God, I can't describe it. We were all watching the news, and we were all cheering and crying because finally, you know, when this all started, you would be sitting on TV and watching these planes take out civilians, and you would feel like you're watching World War II movie. And you're like, is this really happening? Is this really reality? Is he really attacking his people and killing innocents by planes? Then when you hear that his planes got taken out and he can't fire that anymore, you feel like these people have a chance at a fair fight. They have a chance at a fair fight, that he's not attacking them by air, by sea, and everything else.
Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me that part of this mission has to be taken out Gaddafi? He needs to be killed or forced out of the country. We cannot leave him in Libya. Do you agree with that? I'm running out of time here.
Yes, I do. I do agree that Gaddafi has to step down and let his people live in peace. we're willing, like Libya is willing to work with him to step down peacefully and get tried by jury and a judge. But as you can see, there is no way for him to step down. He doesn't want to step down. His son keeps saying it over and over in the news. We will not step down. Libya is ours.
Let me ask you about the Orlando man you told me about over the weekend, and you're very, very careful because you're worried about his security to not reveal too much here on the radio. But you told me of an Orlando man who may have been kidnapped by Gaddafi forces in Libya?
He's actually kidnapped. His wife and children are in Libya. He is kidnapped. This is how close it is to home. He is an American, and we have to do something. And that's how passionate I am about everything. I don't only work the Libya funds. I work everything else. And it's like I see this every day. Our people are being kidnapped, and we stand by and watch. That is not okay. We want our people to come back home.
In conclusion, if folks want to help the rebel cause in Libya, how do they do it? What website do they go through?
Well, we have Relief International, and it's www.hoperelief.org. Anybody wants to donate, they can go there. We do have T-shirts on sale at www.libyagear.com if people want to wear free Libya T-shirts and so forth and support the cause.
Wafia Saif Al-Nasser from Orlando, proud Libyan American. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We hope to have you on again, and we hope and pray that this all turns out as you hope.
Thank you so much, Bud.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Coming up next, a Middle Eastern expert and best-selling author, Walid Ferez, analyzing the latest developments in Libya. Stay with the Budman here at 7 o'clock. News coming your way.